You have two choices: British rat movie or French rat movie. What will you decide? This is a hard one. Actually, it's not. I like Ratatouille. But when you put it like this, it does make the choice a little bit more difficult. You are, without a doubt, the worst Mesopotamian copper merchant I've ever heard of. But you have heard of me. You know, now that I think about it, I don't think I know any other Mesopotamian copper merchants, to be honest. I need to really research a little bit more about this topic. They are referring to what is believed to be quite possibly the first ever 1-star review. Complaining about bad products is like ingrained in all of our DNA. Caveman eats wild berry, can't stop pooping. Oofs from pooping so much. Meanwhile, the other cavemen. I guess let's not eat those anymore. And what's funny about this is it literally happened like thousands of times. That was the only way we could figure out what to eat and what not to eat. I mean, those are pretty big contributions to like human civilization though, I do have to say. Top 10 pranks that went way too far. I am actually horrified. And it got even worse. You literally look like an American character in a Japanese video game. This is literally how they depict us sometimes, even in the animes. He truly has embraced the meme of become the American the Japanese think you are. I didn't think one man could ever have this much power. US Air Force pilots taking a shortcut over the Alps, thinking the Krauts won't follow them. Sorry, the Krauts, my bad. I don't even know why I pronounced it like that. The Swiss Me-109 about to show them what neutrality really means. Yeah, a lot of people don't realize neutrality is actually short for neutralize everything in my airspace. Small detail people tend to forget. Now, were the Swiss mainly having to fire at the Axis because of their geographical location? Yeah, but they can't play favorites. If they're seen as playing favorites, they will then be considered the enemy, and obviously in the position they're in, they do not want to get declared war on by the Axis. This guy wants to travel to the moon, attaches 47 firework rockets to a chair, dies, refuses to elaborate. It's kind of what we saw earlier. He was essentially just a caveman showing everyone, hey, don't eat this. Or don't try this. Don't assume 47 fireworks can take you to the moon. Noted. The Washington Post with an incredible headline: Germany's far-right party is more popular than ever and more extreme than ever? Than ever. I feel like the wording here could have been better put. Ever? Really? The American in the 1800s don't know jack poop about trees except they're good and pretty and stuff. Ask the Aussies to supply some of their trees to plant in California to make it look pretty. They sand eucalyptus trees with gusto. Fast forward to today, eucalyptus trees are finally maturing, which finally allows them to germinate. They do this by spontaneously exploding into fire when the heat reaches a certain point. Exponential increase of forest fires in California. The Australians sent a poop post to the US 200 years in the making. They're just thinking to themselves, if we have to be on fire, so should you. This is actually a crazy revelation though. There's been like so many memes discussing like, why are the places that always have horrible fires Australia and California? I get it. It all makes sense now. Americans when their bank account is 3,000 US dollars. Europeans when their bank account is well, I can't say 3,000. So the joke here is that in Europe, they use commas as like our decimal. So this would actually mean they have 3 euros and 0 cents. Not quite the same thing. I would also have this reaction. Are you even allowed to have $3 in your bank account? I'm pretty sure they would just fine you. At least the bank accounts here do that. What the heck is up with that? Australia, Europe, and North America doing tally marks like this. Yeah, that makes sense. France, Brazil, and South America doing tally marks like this. Yeah, I can see that too. Then there's China, Hong Kong, Japan, and Korea. What the why would they do that? It seems infinitely more confusing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like why? Maybe is that I don't know. Maybe they can read it. Maybe we just can't read that. I'm trying to think. I don't know. Knowing how to read most alphabets, yeah, that's pretty normal SpongeBob. Meanwhile, knowing how to read Japanese or Chinese, you just instantly become super swole. You're just like jacked with abs for no reason at all. You do skip leg day though. Apparently, you need to know 2,000 of these just to be proficient. Remember what they took from you. We did really believe there was a planet Vulcan this close to the sun, actually far closer than Mercury, and it wasn't even really that long ago we believed this. How many planets are they gonna take away from us? First it was planet Vulcan, then it was Pluto. What's next? Earth is not a planet, just a rock that we live on. People in movies, they are only machines. We must destroy them. Versus people in real life. This is my new rover. I will name him Oppie and we'll be best friends forever. What do you think, Oppie? My battery is low and it's getting dark. I love you, Oppie. Oppie? Oh, this is traumatic. This is where men cry. I just want to make it to Mars so I can touch Oppie again one day. Apparently, all we have to do is go to Mars and recharge him, and he'll work as good as new. What are we waiting for? We have to go now. Wasn't convinced before, but now, how pound users think of a 70-kilogram guy, how kilogram users think of a 150-pound guy. And that is because of the big difference there is between pounds and kilograms. 150 kilograms would be pretty large. Meanwhile, 70 pounds would be, I mean, yeah, not that great. This is made even better because this meme has this same guy. Thanks for this, Batman. I present you the greatest known battle of all time, also known as the only collision between a car and submarine. Date was all the way back in 1961. Sweden resulted in a Swedish defeat. Belligerents Volvo versus Swedish Navy. One driver versus one submarine. Casualties and losses, we have one slightly damaged bumper. On the other side, a submarine scrapped in 1980. Well, I guess you could say this was definitely a decisive defeat. Alright, engineers, we need a new jet bomber for the Soviet Union. A design that is hard to control and ejects downward for some reason, but also has a vodka-powered AC system. That's all you had to tell the Soviets at this time. I guess the negatives can just be overlooked. I mean, I would overlook them, who cares? What a beast of a machine this is. The Canadians are training Ukrainians, but also the Canadians are training Ukrainians. And the reason for this look is there were times in history where the Canadians did some war crimes. I don't know how to say it. Get ready to be waterboarded using syrup when you notice a New York license plate in your quiet rural town. I think you could also replace New York with California. I feel like this meme would have been better if it was California. You see this a lot. We have spies everywhere. We've breached all the defenses. I'm one of the UK's youngest grandmothers at 34. What? I don't really want to do the math here. If 34. I can't do the math. Average UK day, I guess. Jurassic Park fans win. Good familiar dinosaur beats bad new dinosaur at the end. And they literally go wild. The movie's gonna make like $1 billion. I have to see the T-Rex beat the cool new T-Rex. People in the Middle Ages, when they notice a shining rock move across the sky or experience an otherwise natural astronomical event, start the rapture. And I know he seems calm, but the entire country is gonna be in complete chaos for at least a year. That's why in the game Europa Universalis, whenever there was a comet sighted, you would always have to deal with like just bad things. People didn't like him that much back then. Meanwhile, in an alternative timeline where JFK wasn't caught lacking, or in other words, if JFK had actually listened to the warnings, and if only he followed Chief Keef on Twitter back in I don't even think I can say this with a straight face. I freaking love frustrating games. I want to play games that I know will make me uncontrollably angry and ruin my mood. Why are all guys like this? I'm the same. Counter-Strike, League of Legends, Siege, and War Thunder are good starters, but there's still so much more. When you take a fire selfie, but remember you banned the internet in your country. Well, sometimes you gotta call some audibles. This is the best way to get around your own rules. A world without bees. A world without trees and animals. A world without government. I mean, the funny thing about this is I don't think you could argue it wouldn't look like this. Like, you kind of need some sort of government if you have any sort of human civilization at all. Isn't like the rawest form government, just someone that makes choices. But yeah, if you have no human civilization, then yeah, it probably all would just look like this. The Japanese population is dropping, right? Meanwhile, the Japanese government, yep. One of the reasons is working too many hours, right? Yep. So the Japanese people have less time and energy to do other stuff, right? Makes sense to me. Then do something about it. More women need to start working. Japan, they have the right idea, don't they? And I think their only solution to this has been setting up government paid for dating events. This is really the best I can come up with. A suspicious magic man, has long hair and a beard, gathers followers, has mysterious agendas, and does unexplainable things. And it doesn't really matter, it crosses all dimensions too. Can't wait to be old one day and just rock this look. Every other cuisine, you guys always act like you're better than me. Meanwhile, Indian, Mexican, and Italian food literally being better than them. I'm sure there's some ones that we're missing on the list, but I mean, yeah, these are pretty high tier. I think there's some Asian countries we're missing though. Somewhere at the Ukrainian border, we have Putin and Zelensky, the leader of Ukraine. Please, just don't join Ortin and let's put an end to this war. I'm losing. Sure, just give me this Russian area. That's one way to respond. I guess I should have said Russian municipality. It's like a whole state. It does look like it would fit nicely right there. Washington unites South Korea and Japan in Asian NATO. Meanwhile, this prophecy slowly becoming true. I love anti-US propaganda. It always looks so interesting. Sometimes I can't even tell if it's like anti or pro. Okay, guys, hear me out. We put the literal demon core on a stick and a chain, and we just start swinging that bad boy everywhere. This would literally be like a lightsaber battle. Like blue lights would be flashing everywhere. All people within like a 50-mile radius would be oofed in like 3 days. In the moment, I'm sure it would be fun to watch. Be me in Ukraine teaching English this summer. Have a Ukrainian last name. Masculine term for hamster. Leaving Kyiv via bus to Germany. Bus breaks down in Czechia. Stranded with a Ukrainian girl who spoke English. She buys me a train ticket for last stretch of the trip. Feeds me when she learns I have no money. She tells me her name is the feminine word for hamster. I think I found my soulmate. This was like a sign from the universe. I'm gonna name my son the Ukrainian term for hamster. Just so that one day he has this happen to him. The Nevada Tourism Department trying to convince people that hiking in the middle of the desert is fun and enjoyable activity. You want to come to a barren wasteland and walk in the hot sun. It's fun and enjoyable and you get to connect with nature. To be fair, I think Nevada does have some nice nature areas, but a lot of it, no. You took our land away that we lived in since the Stone Age. I'm so sorry for what my ancestors did. I wish it could have gone differently and that we stayed. You took our land away that we lived in since the Iron Age. Cry about it. Oh, I guess that's how Turkey rolls. I mean, that's kind of just the rivalry between Greece and Turkey. It still lives on to this day. Greece has ways of getting them back. It's one of my favorite rivalries in all of geography. I mean, when you have stuff like this pop up because of it, it's yeah. Big thanks to my patrons. Destiny 9,000. Drew needs to pay his taxes. Why am I doing this?
JohnDenver,
I'm the kidnapper. Jack Traven's annoying friends. InquisitorXarius. Caleb Israel. I am not a paid actor. LuxembourgLover. Patrick RyeThePie. Subscribe to the GoodOldRyah. Twickenhamster. Become a patron by checking the description down below.